Hey, what is going on, guys? This is your solution guru, better known as Shawn Ryan Randleman. It was crazy because the day after I wrote this article on the death of entrepreneurs, the 10 strategy killers that we must bury, I had so many people hit me back and was like, yo, Shawn, you got to do a live that's dedicated about that. You need to write a course on that. And guess what, guys? I'm going to write a course on it. But today, what I really want to talk to you guys about, let's talk about these actual deaths. Let's talk about these actual strategies. Because a lot of times, as a strategist, it does not matter what strategy I give a person. If their mindset is not connected the right way, guess what? They're not going to accomplish the goals and the dreams that they're set out to accomplish. So, if y'all notice about these death sentences, what I call, of an entrepreneur. The number one is caring about others' opinion, is what I call death by validation. So a lot of times, I talk about this in the Why Factor books, which is the six distinct areas to success. One of those areas is area number three, family and friends. And a lot of times, when it comes down to our family and friends, these are the people that we love. These are the people that we trust. So since we love and we trust, their opinion we love the most. And especially our friends, especially if it's been a friend that you had for like years and you're working on something new. And what we have to realize is the people who know us have known us for years and they have a history with us. And anytime that you're trying to redefine your history, guess what? There's some stories that people are going to have about you. And there's a lot of things that people are going to slow you down. So one of the strategy shifts, that I work with my clients is to replace validation with verification. Let your data, alignment of advisors, and your long-term outcome guide your decisions when it comes down to building your business. The only applause that you should be having is not the applause of others, but the applause that you give to yourself by accomplishing these goals and dreams. The second thing that I want you guys to think about when we're looking at the death of an entrepreneur is listening to too many gurus. It's the death by contradiction. Now, I think this is pretty unique when I talk about this because our company is called Solution Guru Brands, and I came at you guys as your solution guru. But anyone who follows me, they know that that is not who I am. The whole point behind the solution guru is this, that I am trying to teach you how to find the solutions for your life to become a guru in your own life. Everybody wants to be an expert to tell them what and how to do certain different things. But in all reality, you have to understand that you are your own guru and you have to find the decisions and find validated people that align with your vision, especially right now in the digital age. Everything that we see on YouTube, everything that we see on Instagram, everybody's a guru, everybody's an expert. But one thing I did learn from our strategic accountability program that we teach is that just because a person might be the world's greatest graphic designer doesn't mean that they're going to be the world's greatest graphic designer for you. You have to find people that align with your mindset. You have to find people that align with your actual purpose. You have to find people that align with your behavioral practices. You have to find people that align with you, not the gurus. And a lot of times, these people are not the gurus. These people have what we call experience. And from their experience, it makes them genius on the subject. So, like I always say, if you scale fast, slow and steady is best. And no, we work with people and helping people scale beyond ordinary. This is our job. This is all we do. It's like my whole company is about let's scale beyond ordinary. But at the end of the day, remember, the only guru of your product is you. So let me give you a little tip real quick. Filter wisdom through your business model. I'll say that again. Filter wisdom through your business model. Okay. Your marketing timing and your actual capacity. because certain people don't have the capacity to learn at certain levels. So one of the things that we did in our company was we we start to learn how people learn. Are they kinesthetic? Are they visual? Are they auditorial? And we adjust the training to exactly how they learn, which allows them to get maximum results. So, one of the things we do is strategic, what we call auditorial filtering, understanding what this information is and is this information worth my time learning from this guru. The third biggest death of an entrepreneur, which I believe is the biggest one, is not believing in yourself. Death by doubt. So many people claim a big game. They're so talented, but at the end of the day, they don't believe in themselves enough. They don't believe in themselves enough, believe it or not, in order to accomplish their goals and their dreams. The smallest little bit of doubt, the smallest little bit of doubt can literally separate you from having the lifestyle that you deserve. Doubt is not just a mindset issue, it is a business risk. You risk all your dreams, all your goals. When I look back, at every investor that I work with, every investor, they always know without a shadow of a doubt, they believe that when they put their money towards this business idea, it's going to work. And even in failure, they still believed in it. So you got to be willing to lose, because belief is the willing to be able to lose a lot to gain bigger and better. So one of the things that I work with my clients, for a strategic shift in their mind, is you have to document your wins weekly. Some of our clients, we document their wins daily, but you have to document your wins weekly. You have to reflect on your origin story, because your origin story is the foundation of who you are. You have to reinforce your beliefs with accountability partners. That's one of the things that we do that's made us very successful as a firm. It's not about us just helping the person, transform their business model, or helping the small business manage their business the proper way and raise capital and market and sales. No, it's more importantly about the accountability, us holding them accountable to what it is that they are working on. That accountability creates confidence. That confidence creates results. Number 4, not taking the right actions. Death by busyness. I know so many people who are busy all the time, quote unquote. They're busy checking their emails, busy strolling Instagram, busy doing virtually shit. Activities is not achievements. Let me repeat this for you. Activities is not achievements. The death of many entrepreneurs is hidden in their to-do list. So one of the tools that we get all of our clients to use is a tool called Todoist, because I've noticed that clients that use their own phones and they use all these other different methods, uh, they get reminders and reminders, and they get list by list by list. But in Todoist, we're able to break down these lists into projects. We're able to break down these things into milestones that are actionable, got time, date stamps, got resources connected to it. Because a lot of times people just are dopamine driven by distractions. So they put in a whole bunch of stuff on their task list that they're really not going to accomplish whatsoever. And without a strategic blueprint, which we do best, you're just spinning your wheels. You're just spinning your wheel. Progress without alignment is still just a waste of time. Okay. So, how do we do this? One of the things that we use in our company is we use our CSD, which is our continuous strategic solution development program. It's basically a framework that helps you clarify what strategic actions that you need to take place in order for you to accomplish the goals and the dreams that you set. That is very, very important. Now, let's jump into number 5. Number 5 is surrounding yourself with fools. Oh man, it's so funny. My mother raised me in the church. My mom is technically a pastor, and I had to learn the Bible inside out. But one of my favorite books is the Book of Proverbs. And the Book of Proverbs, it teaches you about Wise people should not hang around fools. Let's just be blunt. Not everyone deserves a seat at your strategy table. Not everyone deserves a seat when you win. So you need to surround yourself with the best, not uninspired people, not the unaccountable people, not the unaligned people to what it is that you're trying to accomplish in life. Because what you don't realize is you're going to constantly make bad decisions if you do so. Because the people you hang around, my mother taught me, is ultimately the people that you become. I noticed this because as I would get up on my different levels of success, what was interesting was I would go up the elevator and take the stairs all the way up, get to the certain top, got my elevator pass, and then all of a sudden I drop down on the floors where all my other friends at, come down there, hang out with them, party with them. And what I was realizing was every time I would drop down on the floors to see people that I had moved past, they were dragging me down the levels, just dragging me down. So if you want to be a millionaire, you hang around millionaire people. You want to have a purpose driven life, you hang around purpose driven people. It is critical. One of the things that, I always tell people is energy vampires don't just drain your mood, they actually slow you down from execution. They actually dilute your ambitiousness and they actually force mediocrity. And you don't need that in your life. So, one of the things that we worked on as a strategic strategy shift was to curate our Collabo Partners Alliance program. And this is events and physical events and virtual events that we put people together with the high quality people, partners, advisors, mentors that are aligned with their goals and dreams. And that is key to being extremely successful. One of the things that we do in our productive intro program is we actually help people through what we call relationship auditing. We help them audit who they are, audit the type of relationships that they're looking at building, and we connect them with the right type of people. That's the people you want to be around. Next, number 6, guys, not creating goals and to-do lists. I call it the drift. So a lot of people got a calendar. A lot of people know they got a lot of different things to do. But the biggest problem is they don't know how to write it down and schedule it. A vision without structure is just a hallucination. You're no different than AI. It's so funny because AI is only as smart as the person behind it. So if the person is hallucination on their own vision, AI is going to give them the same hallucination. So entrepreneurs who do not goal set are not leading a business. They're just riding luck. So why would you just want to ride luck? You want to be able to lead a business. You got to realize something. Without defined objectives and measurable steps in everything that you do, everything is just an accidental win. And every loss feels personal. But when you got a goals and you got a to-doist, and let's say you lose 60% of it, but you won 40%, you're so happy because you see that you at least got 40% done so you can come back and do more the next time. Now, one of the strategies that we use is to turn every idea into a milestone. We use our strategic blueprinting process, and each and every day we list a whole bunch of ideas. At the end of the week, we go through the backlog and see which one of those ideas that we really want to put into action, into motion. And then we lay out the tasks, we map them out, and then we have KPIs that give us key performance indicators that allow us to know that we got the job done. So instead of just living life, we're doing things intentionally to execute. And guess what? It's more predictable of the outcome. Think about it. Now, number 7, being overly skeptical. This one is so big, it's crazy because it's going on right now. In the last year and a half, AI and machine learning has changed the world. And people are so skeptical about it, they're not taking full advantage of it. I call this death by paralysis. Like, you got paralysis. Now, it's healthy, okay, to challenge with assumptions. But consistent skepticism is the killer of all innovation. If you analyze every idea and every opportunity that comes in until it bleeds, you will never, ever ship a great idea or a great product. You'll miss your moment. And life is all about moments. All of us have been in the right place at the right time to change our lives. But guess what? We just did not make the decision. You'll reject great partners, and eventually you will actually train yourself to stop bringing your ideas to everybody around you. And people around you will stop bringing ideas to you and opportunities to you because you're so skeptical. So, one of the strategies I tell you that we use with our clients is that you have to shift from prove it to me to prototype it with me. Listen to what I said. Shift from prove it to me to prototype. Most people that got a good idea or good opportunity, they're willing to demo it to you. So if they're willing to demo it to you, if they're willing to sit back and demo it to you, allow them to show you why they believe so much in the product that they're talking about. Number 8, keeping distractions in your life. Keeping distractions in your life kills you. I call it death by delay. Oh, it's always something. Oh, I got to do this for my mom. I got to do this for my kid. I gotta do this for my husband. I gotta do this for my wife. It's always some type of distraction. But what most people don't know is distractions don't just steal time; they actually steal legacy. If you're like me, you're trying to build a legacy for your business. You're trying to take your business to the next level. So, how are you going to build a legacy if you have an overpacked calendar with toxic relationships, social media, distracted in camouflage, which most people don't even realize, and they don't even realize they're obligating themselves to social media? No. Social media is your tool. You should not be on it every 5 minutes, every time your phone bing, you don't post to answer it. Understand this. Okay? Get this through your head. Because at the end of each quarter, you're going to still be behind. You're so distracted by everything else and everybody else's issues and problems that you're not focusing on your own. So one of the strategies that I use is conduct a what I call distraction audit every 30 days. And you have to identify 3 things to remove, 3 things to automate, and 3 things to delegate. You got that? 3 by 3 by 3. I guarantee you, your success in life will start to become narrow focus. Next, number 9, having too big of an ego. Death by isolation. The person with the biggest ego end up being in the smallest room by themselves. Think about that. You have to be confident enough to open your doors because ego slams and shut all doors. All doors are slammed when you looking at your ego. See, when you're thinking that you're the smartest person in every room, you literally stop learning. I love being the dumbest person in the room, period. That's the best room to be in because that means that I'm going to go in this room and I'm going to learn a ton of stuff. What happens is when you get to in this frame of mind that your ego is so big, you start to actually reject feedback. And you create like this culture around you of fear where no one wants to really speak to you. Think about it. No one really want to speak to you. And I hate to tell you, that's the truth. Ego creates lonely leaders. Lonely leaders make fatal decisions. So the way to change that is this is the strategy. Number 1, schedule quarterly humility reviews. Invite an anonymous person that's around you from your team, one of your friends, to actually give you feedback. Practice active listening with all of your advisors and the people that are around you, and let your brilliance be bold, but your learning be louder. Let's say that again. Let your brilliance be bold, but your learning be louder. And last but not least, in this nice 20-minute conversation, number 10, not focusing on your strengths. Oh my God, I meet so many startups and businesses. Hey, this is a great idea. And what they're doing is they're jumping on whatever the great next idea is, or whatever the next great can pay my bills, get me out of the financial situation that I'm in. That's what they do. One of the two. So when you're looking at this from this standpoint, This is death by delusion. And being delusional is the worst thing ever in business. Approximately about 50% of the businesses that I deal with are delusional. It's the reason why, when you look at the stats, over 50% of businesses fail in the first year. And by year three, 80% of those, over 80% of those businesses have failed. And it's because of one of these 10 deaths, but especially the death by not focusing and the death of what I call delusion. So when we look at this, is entrepreneurs often confuse effort with efficiency, but these are two separate, totally different meaning words. And I mean that. You were never meant to be a master at everything. Anytime I heard a person say I'm a jack of all trades, no. Even with me, I'm a strategic solution architect. Despite the fact of the matter that our company does do marketing and sales, we find sources, I stick in my lane. I am extremely good at working with the client and pulling out their purpose and pulling out that idea and putting that on a piece of paper and processing that out. I am extremely good at holding my client accountable for their key performance indicators. I'm extremely good at sitting down with a team, coming up with an idea, orchestrating that team, and having them execute the work while I hold them accountable. I stick in my lane. No matter what industry I'm working in, I stick in my lane. And this is the most important thing when it comes down to scaling. You were meant to scale your zone of genius. So when I'm working with my clients and I'm trying to turn them into what I call the 3 Gs, I call it, genius, gurus, and the gods. That you get to a point that you got over your own life, that you got it balanced and you're happy. When you get to the point that you got enough knowledge in your zone, that you're a genius. And then when you take that genius and a God together, you become what I classify as a guru. So the more that you actually dilute yourself into the roles you hate or don't excel in, actually, the less powerful you are and the less powerful your business will ever become. So my last advice to give to you is you got to shift your mindset. And one of the things that I do when I'm working with my clients is I use what is called a strength mapping methodology that I help them identify their top 3 strategic zones. And then I help them when it comes down to delegating or automating everything else, but building systems around what it is that they're great at. And I guarantee you, if you listen to the advice that I give the clients, the advice that I share with you guys today, I promise you, your brilliance will shine. Now, in my closing for these last 60 seconds, entrepreneurship isn't just a profession, guys. It is a spiritual journey of creation, of risk, and evolution. But the path is the most beautiful path in the world, despite its litter and carcasses and everything that I see as I'm going down this path, because you're going to see some of the brutalest stuff in this path. You're going to see businesses fail. You're going to see people lose marriages. You're going to see people die, believe it or not. And at the end of the day, you got to look at that light down that path, and you got to focus in on what God gave you as your strength, as God gave you as your inner guru, your inner genius, and focus on that. With that being said, this is your solution guru. I'm out. Have a blessed and wonderful day.